seems like a lot of your work doesn't even start. I mean, it doesn't even. A lot of the stuff you're doing in projects seem like they don't actually even really officially go in the gallery. Like a lot of them happen on the street. Or, so you've kind of you've already sort of taken the gallery walls away in a way. At the same time, then you have your own sort of, what do you call it? Do you call it a gallery or short house or what?
Yes, it used to be a permanent space. When we moved to Berlin, it worked as a transient space in collaboration with other permanent spaces. And I think that's the future, at least for the more recent future. It is interesting to work with spaces that have their own agendas and programming and see where Short House and these other parties can meet up. I don't have any interest to really emphasize the curating aspect with Short House. For me, really, it's about community initiative and getting input and trying to motivate production. It's a critical lens.
And I would like to hear more about this exhibition. Who had the idea? Who decided which artists are selected? The second thing concerning that, what about this issue, this Chicano theme in the United States, the issue of border, Mexico, USA, and third, is there something in the United States, is there something like an organized discourse about this topic, about this issue?
Maybe we have a projection in Mexico, the analysis.
The Mexicali Biennial is a artist-founded project. Ed Gomez and Luis Hernandez, who are both artists in this show, they wanted to create an exhibition for artists that have work dealing with the cultural region of Southwest U.S. and the Northwest Mexico. They actually titled it Biennale because of the prestigious affiliations that come with that. But really, whereas it's not at all commercially focused or really supported by any kind of institution. The exhibition spaces changes every year or every 2 years. So the last one, the 2009-2010, my work was curated by them into that Biennale. And last year, when I visited and was talking to Chris and Regina, they were very interested in furthering that kind of discursive exhibition. So they invited Short House, which is Ian Henderson and I. We curated all the artists for Offense, and we organized which works were appropriate. There is a definite relation between the Biennale curatorial theme and Offense, but it's in a different city. It's Berlin. It is a different context. We wanted to focus more so on something that I have in my individual practice, this sort of transience and mobility. I think to compare the two and contrast the two, the Biennale has a lot to do more with Chicano and ethnic, political identity. One of the works in Offense is definitely about the organized political movement, the Chicano art movement. Ed Gomez stole a museum didactic, which basically, 2 columns institutionalized this very radical phenomenon in the region, in LA. And so the documentation of him shooting it up with all of these different guns, I think that work specifically talks about your question. Perhaps too, Luis Hernandez's work with the postcards announcements, this collage. There are a lot of shows in Los Angeles that focus more on, if you have a Spanish name. I actually have Mexican ethnic heritage, but because my last name is Chong, I don't get invited to these exhibitions. And too, a lot of the time, the work by these Latin Americans do not have anything to do with Latin American politics. Really, it's only the name that is what gets them into the show. I think.
Yeah, the collage poster to go more to this. It's made up of fragments of invitation cards to different exhibitions that were Latino art shows, and that he then chopped up to make the collage. And so Ed Gomez, I think that maybe a cultural reference, I don't, most you probably know, but not all. There's a Anglo militia, so private people on Colombian who go out with guns and patrol the border. It's all part of, very much connected with this kind of militia and gun culture in America. So Ed Gomez is referencing that in his work. He calls it Americanista, which is kind of playing this insurgent idea, insurgent video, Sandinista, Zapatista, but instead it's this white Americanista and the American gun culture that he kind of ironizes, like going out to the desert and shooting up this didactic. Or also then using the country music for making the painting in the desert.
Sometimes I wonder if art can become a social mitigation for the tensions along the border. And I'm wondering about how you feel about, and if you're active in art literally on the border and with the border, not just about the border.
My work, no, but the Mexicali Biennial, definitely yes. There were a lot of works that happened physically at the border. But Katia Gardia Brown was filmed in Tijuana at the border. Regina has spoken a lot to Katia. I don't know if you have anything to add to this work.
After the presentation, we're going to put back the video that you can see later on. It is about 6 minutes, maybe you have sneaked in before. She originally used an 8mm camera and focusing on the woman during 8 days walking across the border.
Or along the border.
Along the border, excuse me. And you never see her in detail, you never see her close up, it's just very distant. And also interesting that most of the 6 minutes is a cut up, it's fragments, it's rupture, it's breaks. And I'm fascinated that it's done with the formal aesthetic moments of film and filmography, and what we could have as a cut, and we have a diptychon like a left and the right side. And maybe it doesn't make too much sense to talk about the piece when you don't see it right now. Maybe we can talk all later on about it together, and we put it up again. But